Snark Squad babes, welcome back. We love you, we appreciate you, and babes, we hope you've had an amazing week so far.
Truly amazing.
Like truly, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, thank you for choosing to spend your time with us. We fucking love you for that.
We really do. And we have to start by giving a massive, massive shout out to Shreya, Daphne, and Cheyenne Elise.
Oh my God, yes. Queens.
Because, babes, you are always in our DMs, always in the comments, always keeping the energy alive and chaotic in the absolute best way possible. We see you, we love you, and please keep the mess coming.
Literally keep it coming. And to everyone listening, yes, babes, we are reading your comments, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are leaving them, we read every single one.
Everyone. We might be a little slow responding sometimes, but you have to remember, it is literally just us and Ellison.
Just us. No team, no assistants, just 2 dentists, 1 producer, and immaculate vibes.
Fairly immaculate today, honestly. Speaking of vibes, babes, we both had completely chaotic work days, and we desperately need to decompress.
Unhinged. Completely unhinged.
Go first. What the hell actually happened today?
Okay, my soul temporarily left my body today. I am not even being dramatic.
You're always a little dramatic, but go on.
I am being so serious right now. Okay, so I was doing a completely routine procedure, right? Like standard stuff. I am walking the patient through it, explaining the drill, making sure he is completely numb.
Right, doing the whole calming bedside manner thing.
Exactly. Using my best soothing boss babe voice. He nods, he consents, he knows he is in a sterile, safe medical office. But babes, the second I turn the handpiece on and it makes that high-pitched whining sound,
oh no.
his brain completely disconnected from reality.
Yeah.
It was pure fight or flight. He literally clamped his jaw completely shut and bit down directly on the active drill.
Wait, stop. Are you kidding me?
I wish I was. Mid-procedure, I had to yank my hand back so fast. It was like his logical brain just logged off and his primitive caveman brain was like, loud noise equals predator, I must bite.
That is deeply terrifying, but honestly, analytically speaking, it is a fascinating example of an amygdala hijack.
Oh, wow.
An amygdala hijack. Like his prefrontal cortex knew he was safe, but his primal survival instinct just fully took over. It completely bypassed his logic.
Well, his primal instinct almost lost a tooth and gave me a heart attack. The sheer exhaustion of customer service meets medical professional is too much today.
I fully validate that. But honestly, my day at work, weirdly normal.
Oh, good for you.
Wait, let me finish. It was normal at work, but the chaos literally started the second I got home.
Oh, right, the apartment drama. Babes, you have to tell them.
Okay, so as the Snark Squad knows,
Yeah.
we have been aggressively apartment hunting because our current neighbors are actual criminals.
Literal menaces to society.
We just want peace, we want to live close to each other, and we want beach baddie energy. That is it. That is the manifestation.
Is that so much to ask?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
So I get off the elevator today, right? And I am walking down our 3-foot-wide shared carpeted hallway. And my neighbor, the one who already aggressively hates me, has decided to turn the hallway into his personal woodworking studio.
Stop it right now, in the hallway.
I am dead serious. He has sawhorses set up.
Yeah.
A literal electric circular saw, and there is a mountain of sawdust just ground into the carpet.
Oh my God, the fire hazard alone.
Exactly. So I look at him, completely deadpan, and I say, excuse me, you cannot run power tools in a carpeted egress route.
Boss energy. Love that.
And he looks me dead in the eye, revs the saw.
Oh.
Yes. Revs the saw and says, I have a right to my hobbies.
Are you actually joking? He said that.
I have a right to my hobbies. Like, sir, you do not have a right to turn our residential building into a Home Depot lumber aisle. The sheer entitlement. It is cinematic, petty, chaotic neighbor drama, and I am so over it.
Babes, I am spiraling just hearing that. Since it is basically the weekend, the cutwaters are officially cracked open.
Oh, they are fully open.
We are starting the spiral early today, and honestly, it is so deserved.
Highly deserved. And actually, before we even get into the show, speaking of unhinged criminals and wild behavior, did you see that insane news article I sent you?
Wait, the one about the bank?
Yes. We have to talk about this because it perfectly transitions into the true crime mindset we need for today.
Oh my God, yes. Babes, listen to this. So apparently someone went up to a real functioning bank deposit box outside of a building, right?
Right.
They took a piece of tape, taped over the actual slot, and then chained a cheap fake metal lockbox to a tree next to it.
A tree?
Chain it to a literal tree, and then they put a piece of laminated paper on it that said, out of order, use this box.
And people used it. Business owners walked up with thousands of dollars in cash and just dropped it into a box chained to a piece of landscaping.
Wait, I'm still spiraling over this. How are people this trusting? Is it literally just human nature to blindly obey a laminated sign?
Honestly, yes. We have this massive cognitive blind spot for authority. If something is laminated and printed in a bold font, people's critical thinking skills just power down. They don't question it.
It is the laziest crime I have ever heard of, but somehow the most effective. Like, chain a box to a tree, boom, rich.
It is a masterclass in manipulation. We need Bex Henderson on this case immediately. Because, babes, what is this world?
Truly. Okay, babes, we are clearly spiraling, the drinks are hitting, and honestly, it is time to get into the absolute mess that is the hunting party.
We have so much to unpack.
Yeah.
We are talking Season 2, Episodes 7 and 8, and the drama is just off the charts.
But wait, before we even touch the plot, we have to talk about the absolute audacity of the network.
Oh, the scheduling drama. Shout out to the Reddit threads, especially users Walter Boltzfu and Jenny Jugs 2022, because they were tracking this mess all week.
We were all losing our minds. NBC literally pulled episode 8 and delayed it because they prioritized MLB opening day and NCAA basketball over our favorite show.
I mean, from an analytical ad revenue standpoint, I get it. Live sports are the only thing keeping traditional broadcast television afloat.
I do not care about the math. I care about my dopamine. You cannot just halt the momentum of a serial killer drama for a baseball game. We are streaming era babies. We need our content now.
The network truly tested our sanity, but we survived. So let's get into Episode 7, titled Sidney Fairfax.
The worst day ever.
Truly. We are introduced to Dr. Sidney Fairfax, played by David Rash, and he is just deeply unsettling.
He gave me total Frankenstein energy. It was so creepy. The flashback to him in Cambridge talking about the brain, and then he just goes out onto the street, drugs a homeless man with a piece of tainted toffee, and the next thing you know, he has this guy's brain in a glass jar in his passenger seat.
It is incredibly dark. But it perfectly sets up the core thematic debate of the episode, the nature versus nurture argument.
Yes, let's unpack that.
So Dr. Dawes, the guy who used to run the pit before Lazarus murdered him, believed entirely in nurture. He believed that environment and trauma created a killer.
Which makes sense given what we know.
Right. But Fairfax is the complete opposite. He is a biological determinist. He genuinely believes that violence is purely biological. If you have the wrong genetic markers or brain structure, you are destined to be a monster. He's acting like a real-life X-Men villain, trying to create the perfect serial killer using these cutting-edge electrodes.
Which is absolutely terrifying, and because of this wild theory, he becomes completely obsessed with Shane, which leads us to the messiest part of the episode, the found family feud.
Oh, the operational security in this team is just garbage right now.
Babes, I was so stressed. Okay, so Shane is keeping secrets. He is hiding his connection to Sarah Dellis. He is hiding files, and when Bex and Hassani find out, they just absolutely lay into him.
As they should. Analytically, Shane is a massive liability in that moment.
Okay, wait. I'm going to defend him emotionally right now. I have to defend my boy.
I knew you would. Go ahead.
He was born in a literal underground prison. He was experimented on. He is just trying to find out who his mom is. Why are Bex and Hassani acting so furious and self-righteous when they literally just found out Lazarus is his mom and they hid it from him? The hypocrisy is so loud.
They absolutely fumbled the timing, I will give you that. But Shane hoarding classified documents and having secret rendezvous when they were fighting a shadow government organization, that is how you get people killed. He was prioritizing his feelings over their tactical safety.
Well, his feelings led him to run off alone, which is a terrible idea.
Never go to a secondary location alone. Ever.
He gets kidnapped by Fairfax, and the flashback scenes when Fairfax has him strapped to that chair, I was spiraling. Seeing Shane as a little kid being experimented on in the pit, it broke my heart.
Fairfax was using psychological warfare. He wanted to convince Shane that because Lazarus is his mom, he is biologically evil.
Yeah.
He was trying to strip away Shane's agency so he can drill into his skull.
But that is the whole point. Shane is a golden retriever puppy of a human being. He only kills for justice. He completely disproves Fairfax's entire biological destiny theory just by existing as a good person.
Which brings us to the climax. Lazarus actually gives Bex the tip.
Right.
They breach the bunker, and Bex delivers that incredible stall tactic.
That speech was everything. She looks right at Fairfax with the drill and just loudly validates Shane's heart and his humanity. It was such a boss moment.
It anchored Shane mentally. It gave him the push he needed to break the restraints, grab a weapon, and stab Fairfax. And then Bex and Hassani just light Fairfax up, threat neutralized.
And then they are on the plane drinking beers, and it seems like everything is perfectly fine. They make up. It is a beautiful TV resolution.
Seemingly. But if you look at the Reddit discourse, specifically user K-pop horses, people hated the final scene. Because right after that bonding moment, Bex and Hassani go off to discuss Lazarus, and they explicitly exclude Shane from the conversation.
Oh, that made me so mad. The secrets are still brewing, they do not trust him, and that tension just bleeds right into episode 8.
Episode 8. Elliot Carr. The Connecticut Cobbler.
Babes. Josh Dallas, Prince Charming himself, Ben Stone from Manifest. I literally screamed when he came on screen, seeing Melissa Roxbury and Josh Dallas reunite, but he is a skin-stealing serial killer. It is the TV event of the year.
The casting was brilliant because we implicitly trust Josh Dallas, so when we find out his character used to skin powerful people alive to make exotic leather shoes because he had, quote, uncle issues, it is so deeply disturbing.
I am never looking at a pair of Coach leather sandals the same way again. I was deeply traumatized.
But the core of this episode isn't just his crimes. It is what the pit did to him. We had to talk about the memento mori torture.
Oh my God, the psychological damage. Explain this because it was so dark.
So the pit wanted to rehabilitate him, but their version of rehab is just systematic psychological destruction. Memento mori means remember you must die. They would randomly drag Elliot out of his cell, strap him to a gurney, prep him for lethal injection, start the countdown, and then literally seconds before they killed him, a phone would ring and they would call it off.
Just to mess with him over and over again.
Exactly. It forces a state of learned helplessness. They flooded his brain with cortisol until his endocrine system just shattered. They engineered empathy through absolute, inescapable terror.
Like, we love justice for the victims, but this is straight up psychological torture. It completely broke him, which leads to the most unhinged twist of the entire series.
The scavenger twist.
I gagged. I literally gagged.
So Elliot can no longer kill because he is paralyzed by this manufactured empathy. But he still has the compulsion to make shoes. So he listens to police scanners, finds people who are already dying of natural causes, and just waits for them to expire so he can harvest their skin.
Because he wants to make apology shoes for the families of his past victims, out of his own skin, and he needs the dead people's skin as grafts to cover up where he flayed himself.
Okay, analytically, we have to pause here. The medical biology of this is absolute garbage.
Wait, really? It doesn't work.
No. You cannot just slap dead necrotic tissue onto your open wounds. Your immune system would immediately reject the foreign DNA, and the bacterial load from a corpse would send you into rapid-onset septic shock. He is riddled with sepsis. He should be dead in a day.
Okay, whatever. Biology aside, you have to admit it is a brilliant narrative twist. It is like a reverse Silence of the Lambs. Buffalo Bill killed to wear other people's skin. Elliot is destroying his own body because he is actually sorry.
The visual metaphor of guilt is very strong, I will concede that. But the trap they set to catch him is so messy.
Because they use Shane as bait. Again, they always use Shane as bait.
He is their most resilient physical asset. But the scene where they corner Elliot, and he realizes his apology shoes were intercepted, and he just tries to shoot himself in the head.
That was intense. But Shane shoots him in the shoulder first to stop him. He saves his life so he can face real justice.
And while all of that action is happening, we get the real insidious drama of the episode, the mother-son dinner date.
The dinner date from hell. Shane actually goes to Lazarus's apartment.
She tries to be domestic, she completely burns the lasagna, and they end up eating Chinese takeout.
And while they're eating, she just plays the ultimate victim card. She gives this whole speech about how she was bullied and she was marginalized and the pit fixed her.
It is textbook dark triad manipulation. She's a highly trained sociopath using trauma bonding to disarm a vulnerable asset.
And it works. Shane literally reaches across the table and holds her hand. I was screaming at the television.
He is completely compromised. And the juxtaposition is perfect because while they're holding hands, Hassani drops the massive bombshell on Bex.
The missing inmates?
Yes. Lazarus has been secretly disappearing and graduating highly dangerous inmates off the books since you took over the facility.
Which is terrifying. Okay, babes, let's transition into our first segment of the night because we need to judge these people. Segment 1, main character or just loud?
We are going to evaluate 3 cast members and decide if they were actually driving the plot or just aggressively present in the room. Let's start with your boy, Shane Florence.
I am going to defend him with my entire chest. He is the ultimate main character. He has the tragic backstory. He has the secret serial killer mom. Mad scientists literally want to harvest his special brain. He is the moment. He is the emotional core of the show.
I am going to analytically snark back on that.
Yeah.
Because right now,
Yeah.
he is not a main character. He is a pawn.
Dare you.
Look at the data. He's getting kidnapped every other week. He's being used as live bait by his own friends. He is falling for his mother's highly obvious manipulative sob stories. He's not driving the plot. He's just loud, emotional, and constantly in the way of the actual strategists.
Ugh, fine. Your logic is annoying. But who do you think is the main character then? Colonel Lazarus.
Absolutely. She is the actual main character. Think about it. She orchestrated the false flag attack on the convoy. She took over the command center. She is currently moving black site inmates completely off the grid. She has absolute mastermind energy. She is playing chess while Shane is playing Go Fish.
Okay, but I am going to counter that. I think she is just aggressively loud. Yes. She uses this basic I was bullied in high school backstory to justify a literal mass murder and torture that is not mastermind energy, that is just unhealed trauma making a lot of noise. Plus, she cannot even bake a lasagna without burning it. That is embarrassing.
Fair point on the lasagna. What about Bex Henderson?
Oh, we agree on this one.
We completely agree. Bex is the moment.
She is the absolute moment, standing toe-to-toe with Fairfax while he has a drill to Shane's head, calling out Lazarus directly to her face.
She is boss energy personified. She's the only one actually holding the narrative together.
Exactly. Okay, moving from judging their vibes to judging the actual lore of the show, let's get into segment 2. If this was a true crime podcast,
we're going to reframe the show's lore and treat it like a real historical crime case.
And I'm going to give you my best, breathy, dramatic, true crime podcaster voice. Are you ready?
I am bracing myself. Go.
Imagine sitting in a cold, concrete cell. The heavy metal door slams open. The guards come in. They strap you to a gurney. It is time to die. The cold needle slides into your arm. The countdown begins. 3, 2, and then the phone rings. You are going to live, but you will never, ever be the same.
Very dramatic, very chilling. Now, if I am the true crime analyst on this podcast, I am assigning entirely different motives than what the public is told. Because the real serial killers in this scenario are not the inmates.
Wait, who are they?
The real killers are the Pitt's Medical Board, Dr. Dolly's, Dr. Fairfax, and the anonymous higher-ups funding them. They are running a highly illegal black site torture ring, and they are masquerading it as a rehabilitation center to get federal funding.
Oh, I love an absurd conspiracy theory. Give me more.
It isn't absurd. Think about it. The Pit is actually just a dark web tech startup. They are trying to harvest killer brains like Fairfax's electrodes to create biological weapons. The whole rehab angle is just a front for their sick venture capital pitches.
Babes, that actually makes so much sense. Like, they are selling remote-controlled assassins to the highest bidder.
Exactly. It is state-sponsored bioterrorism disguised as criminal justice.
I am obsessed with that theory. Okay, let's keep the legal vibes going and bring it back to the messiest boy on television. Segment 3, Snark Court. Guilty or two. Just embarrassing.
The defendant today is Shane Florence.
My sweet client.
The charges against your client are criminal gullibility, falling for Lazarus's incredibly transparent manipulation, ignoring every single red flag in her apartment, and holding her hand over cold Chinese takeout.
As the defense, I am stepping up. Your Honor, my client was raised in a literal underground prison. He just wants maternal affection.
Objection relevance.
Overruled. When a woman looks you in the eye and tells you she was bullied and that society broke her and that she was fixed, you want to believe her. He is just a golden retriever seeking a head pat from his mom. He is innocent of everything except having too big of a heart.
Analytically, the prosecution destroys this defense. Your Honor, the defendant is a highly trained tactical operative. He knows for a fact that this woman smothered Dr. Delos with a pillow. Nobody is perfect. She is running a black site. She is orchestrating domestic terrorism. Reading across the table and holding her hand is not just a lapse in judgment. It is a massive security threat to his entire team. It is profoundly, deeply embarrassing.
Ugh. Okay. We have to deliver the verdict.
Wouldn't say you.
I hate to admit it, but guilty.
Absolutely guilty.
Guilty of being deeply tragically embarrassing. And the sentence. He is sentenced to intense long-term therapy with a doctor who is strictly not employed by the Pit.
A civilian therapist immediately.
Please. Okay, babes, the cutwaters are almost empty, which means it is time for our final segment, the Unhinged Predictions Hotline.
We are taking all the messy plot points, especially Lazarus's missing inmates, and we are spiraling into the future. I will start with prediction 1.
Hit me.
Remember my tech startup theory. Lazarus is not graduating those missing inmates. She's utilizing Dr. Fairfax's recovered electrode research. She's literally wiring their brains to turn them into her own personal, remote-controlled serial killer army to overthrow the intelligence community.
Oh my God. A remote-controlled serial killer army. That is so dark.
It fits the data perfectly. What is your prediction?
Okay, my wild prediction involves Elliot Carr's skin shoes.
Of course it does.
Listen, the team intercepted the apology shoes, right? I predict that Elliot accidentally grafted his own subcutaneous pit-tracking microchip into the leather of the shoe.
Wait, biological steganography.
Yes. The shoes are going to end up being the physical evidence that exposes the pit. Like, Bex is going to be in a corner, and she's going to have to scan a barcode hidden on the human skin loafer, and it will unlock the pit's mainframe.
That is so wildly unhinged, but honestly, it's exactly the kind of chaotic writing the show thrives on.
Yeah.
I love it. My final wild prediction brings it back to the emotional trauma. Lazarus is going to frame Shane.
No, frame him for what?
For a high-profile murder. She needs to prove to the government that the pit is necessary, right? She is going to frame her own son to prove Dr. Fairfax's theory to the world. She will publicly say, look, the son of a serial killer became a monster. Biology is destiny. Therefore, you must fund my prison. She will sacrifice her own kid for her agenda.
That gave me actual chills. She is totally wicked enough to do that. Oh my God, babes, we have to debate this. Which one is going to happen?
I mean, the framing Shane theory is narratively sound, but the remote-controlled army feels like the exact flavor of absolute chaos the writers want.
Totally. The army is 100% happening. I can see the finale now. Just 30 mind-controlled killers swarming the command center. It is going to be a mess.
A glorious mess.
Well, babes, The Spiral has officially concluded. Thank you so much to the Snark Squad for tuning in, for having drinks with us, and for letting us decompress from our incredibly chaotic week.
We literally couldn't do this without you. Please remember to subscribe to the feed, rate the show 5 stars, and share this recap with your messiest, reality TV-loving best friend.
Yes, spread the snark.
We will be back next week to break down the next episodes, but babes, before you go to sleep tonight, we want you to think about this.
Oh, lay it on them.
What if Lazarus isn't building a tech army at all? The pit is a massive dark hole in the ground. What if she is just feeding those missing inmates to something even worse, hiding at the very bottom of the pit?
Wait, my skin is actually crawling. I'm going to have nightmares.
Good night, babes.
Stay chaotic.
Stay unhinged.
And we will see you on the snark side.